Hello everyone, we're looking at investigation number 2 on page 639, dealing with the standardized normal distribution. So we are having a data set that is normally distributed with a mean and a variance, and we know now that the z-score is x subtract the mean all divided by the standard deviation. So our first task, there's our data set, okay? And we need to draw a graph to check to see if the data is approximately normally distributed. All right, so let's check that. I've arranged this ahead of time. Data values along the x-axis, frequency on the y-axis. So data value 1, we only have one of them. Let's put that point there. Data value 2, we have 2 of them. Data value 3, we have 4 of them. Data value 4, we have 5 of them. Data value 5, we have 4. Data value 6, we have 2. And data value 7, we have 1. So we can see, yes, it is approximately normally distributed. It's symmetrical, okay, and it's shaped like a bell curve. Okay, so approximately normally distributed. Perfect. So yes. All right, x is normally distributed. Find the mean and standard deviation of the data set. Okay, for this we go to our calculator, TI Nspire. Let's see here. And I've set this up also ahead of time. I have my x values in the first column, 1 all the way down to 7. And the second column is the frequencies. Okay, so let's put our frequencies in. We only had 1, 1. We had 2 2s, we had 4 3s, we had 5 4s, we had 4 5s, we had 2 6s, and 1 7. All right, so find mean and standard deviation. Remember, come back up to the top here, go in an empty cell to the right, menu, statistics, which is number 4. Stat calculations, which is number 1. And we're looking at one variable stats. That's what will give us our mean and standard deviation, as well as Q1, Q2, Q3, and a few other things. One variable statistics means we only have one data set that we want information on. The other column was frequencies only. So one variable stats. Number of lists, only 1. So click OK there. And what did we call that X list? Well, I called it X, so whatever you called it. Frequency list, I called F for frequency. And it's going to show up in column D, my results. Okay, so here we go. One variable stats. The mean is 4. And the standard deviation is 1.49, 1.48678. Okay, so let's get this set back up. We have mean 4, standard deviation 1.49. 1.49. Okay. Part C, transform each of these x's into a z using this formula, this transformation. Okay, so when we do this, I guess I'll have to do this down here. So when x is 1, z is 1 subtract 4 all over 1.49. So we need to do this. So calculator, 1 subtract 4 is -3, divide it by 1.4. I'm going to use more digits here. Let's see. What was it? 1.48678. For more accuracy. back to our calculator. 1.48678. Okay, that's equal to negative 2.02. I'll round this to 3. Okay, when x is 2, do the same thing. So 2 subtract 4, divide it by 1.48678. And we get negative 1.35. Z is 3 subtract 4, which is negative 1, divided by negative 0.67. When x equals 4, 4 subtract 4 is going to be 0. Okay, so 0 divided by any number is 0. When it is 5, 5 subtract 4 is 1, divided by 1.48678, and that is 0.67. When it is 6, 6 subtract 4 is 2, and we get positive 1.35. And when x is 7, if you happen to notice a pattern here, it's symmetrical. There's our 0, which the mean was 4. These two are symmetrical, these two are symmetrical, so you can probably predict that this answer will be positive 2.02. But 7 subtract 4 is 3, divided by is indeed positive 2.02. Okay, so let's transfer those numbers up here. We're going to actually transfer those numbers. Yeah, okay. So 1 for the z becomes negative 2.02. The 2's all become negative 1.35. The 3's all become negative 0.67. The 4's become 0. The 5's become positive 6.7. The 6's become positive 1.35, and the 7 becomes positive 2.02. Okay. Our next task is to find the mean and standard deviation of the z values. So let's go to our calculator again. And our chart. Flip this around again. So in our chart, I have another window open here. We're going to go up and call this z. Instead of x, we're calling it z for z-score. So the first one is negative 2.02. Next one, negative 1.35. Next one, negative 0.67. Sorry about my hand moving around. 0, and then 0.67, 1.35, and 2.02. Okay, how many of these did we have? Let's add our frequencies. So F for frequency. And is this correct, or do I need to change it? This is actually correct, what auto-filled. Perfect, because I had just used it with that same variable F in a previous page. So menu, statistics, stat calculations, one variable stats, number of lists 1, so okay. Okay. Okay, what did I call that list? I called it Z, and I called the frequency list F. Okay, and okay again. And we get a mean of 0, standard deviation of 1.0011. And because we were using rounded numbers and not exact numbers, then we got 0.11 after 1.00, okay? But this is 0 and 1, 1.00, okay? So therefore, the mean and standard deviation of the z-scores. The mean is 0, standard deviation is 1.00. And summarize our findings. Well, we've realized that x is distributed normally. Okay, so if x is distributed normally with a mean and standard deviation, then there's a z distribution that also exists where the mean will always be 0 and the standard deviation will always be 1. Okay, we'll be using this to solve problems.